Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And do we have a Star Wars title yet? Not at the time of this video being recorded. So there was a rumor that went out on Reddit earlier today saying today is going to be the day that we finally get a title reveal for Star Wars Episode 9. Up to this point, that has not been the case. If we did get a title reveal today, it would be consistent with what the, C-3PO actor yesterday said on Twitter, that he sensed something coming and for us to stay tuned, which seemed to hint that either a trailer or a title was going to be coming. And if rumors to be believed on Reddit, it is coming sometime today. Also, something revealed on Reddit was what the possible title might actually be. So we had Anthony Daniels just trying to say, oh guys, be excited, things are gonna happen. I think it was just to get a lot of attention because still nothing has happened. And then eventually I think what happened was that some Reddit user decided to pick up what he had said and say, oh, look, I got some inside information. And so therefore, yes, we're going to get the title today. And somehow, some way throughout all of this, we ended up getting Balance of the Force. Yes, apparently Balance of the Force, and the people over at Screen Rant are thinking that's a great idea. They think it's wonderful. Oh my goodness. So Balance of the Force, as they say, is also a not-so-subtle prequel reference, since that trilogy was based around the prophecy of Anakin bringing balance to the Force. This title could tie all three trilogies together in a meaningful way. Yeah, especially if they say, oh yeah, guess what guys, it wasn't Anakin or Luke that brought balance to the Force, but actually it was Rey all along. She was the missing piece. You know, that's like, seriously, like, if they haven't learned their lesson, you know that's what they're going to do. They're going to make her some central part to this story, and people are going to say, well, I mean, that's been clear from the very beginning. I mean, obviously, it's her story. No. This has been the Skywalker story, or at least that's what we were told. We were promised the Skywalker saga is going to be concluded, and guess what? Haven't really gotten a whole lot of Skywalkers going on. We got just a glimpse of him after the first film. We got someone who is not Luke Skywalker in Episode 8. Well, I think that he's, according to Rian Johnson, I think that he is totally consistent with the character that we saw in the original trilogy. He's like, no, he's not. The whole reason why it's A New Hope is because Luke is that New Hope. Luke faces off against his father, sacrifices his own life because he believes that he can save his father. This is a man who, even if you go into the extended universe, well, that's not canon, so you can't bring that up. I don't care. Because at this point, I would rather get lost in the EU and believe it as my own headcanon than to accept the so-called canon of the Kiri Hart-led story group. But by the way, where is Kiri Hart? Where in the world is Kiri Hart? Oh yeah! We don't know. We still don't know where she is because her page has just disappeared and everyone's saying, oh, maybe she was fired, maybe she was promoted, maybe she, chose another job. And there are some people saying, oh, you're looking too far into it. And other people who are saying, oh man, this means things are changing. But at the end of the day, we really honestly don't know, as my dogs are so frustrated with all of this as I am. But no, don't worry, guys. Hey. Sometimes even my dogs can go a bit too far. Balance of the Force, though, to me, is a stupid title. Out of everything that it could be, out of everything that they could possibly put together, Balance of the Force just seems so on the nose and seems so contrived that it's like, oh, what does that mean? Oh my god, how is balance going to be brought to the Force? And not even just that. When you look to the original trilogy, you had Star Wars, you had The Empire Strikes Back, and then you had Return of the Jedi. In the very beginning, it wasn't just Star Wars, A New Hope, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Those were just the names of the movies. They were Star Wars movies, but they had their own individual names. There really is, realistically speaking, there is only one Star Wars, and that's the original. Only later was it named A New Hope, which I think is fine because it does delve into how Luke Skywalker is that New Hope. He is someone who is becoming a Jedi. He is on his path to save his father. Again, a very good story. Empire Strikes Back, perfect title. Because it is indeed the Empire striking back against the rebels that were, pretty much talked about and had a very good storyline in the first film. Again, at the very end of the movie, remember, it ends with the award ceremony. Where is Chewie's medal, by the way? So we have Empire Strikes Back. Makes a lot of sense. Return of the Jedi. Makes sense because guess what? There is literally a balance brought to the Force, and the Jedi are once again brought into fruition. The Jedi can once again thrive. They can finally grow again because you have Luke Skywalker who can be the master, the new Jedi master who can bring everything forward. You have the revelation that there are these Force ghosts that can somehow interact with the real world and can reveal certain things to certain characters. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things set up, but what do they do in the sequel trilogy? Oh no, we're going to take the coolest character from that original trilogy, who had all of the hope in the world, who could have done so many things, and we're going to put him on a desert island somewhere. Desert island, obviously, it's off a beautiful island, I would say, off the coast of Ireland, based on my own, knowledge of those areas. We're going to put him there. We're going to ignore him for an entire film, show him at the very end, tease everybody so that everyone's like, Luke Skywalker's back, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. What is he going to do with the lightsaber? And then what does Rian Johnson do? Says, oh, all those expectations that you've been building up for a year, whoop, throw it over your back, throw it off the cliff, because guess what? I'm running the show, and I'm going to do whatever it is the hell I want. And so we've got The Force Awakens. Very cool title. I think it could have worked. Then you have The Last Jedi, which to me is like, okay. I mean, it could have been cool. It could have been a cool concept. I mean, obviously the Jedi were supposed to be alive. We really didn't get to see any of that, because you kind of skipped all of that and tried to say, oh no, we got the First Order now and all these new characters because we don't care about the old ones anymore. And now we're going to get, what? Star Wars Balance of the Force? I'm sorry, but this has been one of the worst trilogies ever, and it's not even finished yet. Even if they were to throw everything and the kitchen sink into episode 9, which would even include, I think, if they were going to do any justice to this story, if they had any sense, if they had any chance of salvation in the eyes of fans, they would need to make it into 2 movies, because one, they would need to make one movie saying, yeah, episode 8 didn't happen, or at least parts of it were a Force dream or something to that effect. Basically make it clear, saying, no, we're going to retcon some of the mistakes because there were blatant mistakes made. But they're not going to do that. They've already publicly doubled down on it. Obviously, I have that speculation saying, well, maybe they're holding off on the title because it's going to be blank part 1 or something to that effect, because it's actually going to be 2 movies. Now, obviously, do I honestly think that that's going to be the case? No, I don't think they're going to make it into 2 movies. In my own opinion, I think they're going to want to get it done and over with, because then they can wipe their hands of it and say, oh, we did our best. We tried everything that we could. We tried to make the best movies possible. And now, oh, look, now we have a streaming service. And so now we're going to stop making movies and we're just going to focus on the shows instead, which I'll talk about in a bit, because that's like the only thing I'm excited for when it comes to Star Wars. But seriously, Balance of the Force. Go even to the prequels. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. Go even to the prequels, where you had, again, the Phantom Menace. Ooh, what is going on? What is going to happen with all of this stuff? Then you had Attack of the Clones, because the Clone Wars are prevalent within that story. And then finally you have Revenge of the Sith. Like, every story, every single movie has its place, works within it. Yes, the dialogue is terrible. No one's going to deny that. Yes, there are certain characters that you kind of question and say, wait, what? But still, the stories all move together. The original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, they all have continuous stories that all work together, that are connected. Even though the first and second movie technically have about 10 years between them, they're still consistent. They still follow a natural path. What we've gotten in the sequel trilogy is such a hodgepodge of random crap. That's what it really is, random crap. Random attempts at fan service, while at the same time trying to push a political narrative. Which, I mean, come on, guys, if you want to look it up for yourself, we've now uncovered more video of Kathleen Kennedy making it very clear that her purpose, her goal as the head of Lucasfilm, was to try and make it more palatable for female viewers. Now, some people could say, well, what's wrong with that? Odin, why is that a bad thing? That means more people get to love Star Wars. The problem is because men and women already loved Star Wars in the first place, because it didn't pander. It didn't go after those cheap political points. It didn't go after identity politics. It just told you a good story with great characters. Instead, your main character, Rey, was created and put together. And how do we know that she was convoluted, and how do we know that she truly represents this motivation? She has no character arc. She receives no training, and yet she's powerful in the Force. She is a Mary Sue. It is a lazy writing tactic. I'm sure my boy Matthew Kadish can attest to this. It's a lazy writing tactic to try and say, this is how we'll get around it. We'll just make her all-powerful, OP, getting out of any and all situations, having no real struggles for anything, to show that she can be that there are strong female Jedi. If you want to show strong female Jedi, There are plenty of EU characters you could have chosen that would have already had a pre-established fan base and have much more interesting stories. Mara Jade, Ahsoka Tano, just to name a couple. I'm sure many of you can name even more because I'm just diving into the EU myself, and I can't wait to dive in even more. But balance of the Force. Balance of the Force. If that is indeed the title, good God, that's going to be awful. However, there is something to look forward to. And I've been saying this every time I talk about Star Wars and I talk about this show, I have nothing but positive things to say. So for all the people saying, why are you so negative all the time? It's like you're a cynic or something. Remember, I call myself a cynic because that's what other people call me. So I'm like, go ahead and call me a cynic. I think I'm being a realist when it comes to all this. But you can go ahead and call me a cynic because guess what? I call myself a cynic. And if you come here saying, why are you so cynical? Why are you so mean? It's because I keep it real, man. And if you don't like keeping it real, then you can find a collider. You can find a shill media presence that's going to be like, oh man, this is going to be so exciting. And oh, the film hasn't come out yet. It's so funny how like you can't judge a movie before it comes out. Please give me an example of any time in your life that you have not judged a film before it came out. I'm waiting. If you can honestly say you've never prejudged a film, or that there's a film title that you hear and you think, oh no, I'm not going to go see that, or that sounds terrible, or that looks awful, please tell me an example. Because my boy, the Hawkman here, would not agree with you. In fact, he would attack you. He would just go dive in the typical Brian Blessed way. Great man. Shout out to Laura for giving me this. Love it. Unpackaged it on last night's live stream. But Taika Waititi said something very interesting. I have ADD, guys. I'm sorry. Taika Waititi said something very interesting because he said his Star Wars TV series will have the original trilogy feel. So for those that don't know, Taika Waititi has been pegged to be a director, to be a part of the Mandalorian series. He's going to be one of the persons creating stories on that series. He's been one of a few names that have been put around. And I'm going to be honest. I love Taika Waititi. I think that he's great. There's some people that didn't like what he did with Thor Ragnarok. I loved it. I think that he took a floundering character, a floundering franchise that was Thor, a franchise that I love still. Even The Dark World, even though I can admit it's one of the weakest MCU films out there, I still love it because it is Thor and I love the lore of Thor. Yeah, that's right. I can rhyme. I can spit it out there. But what Taika Waititi did was he took that character that people were losing interest in and he made it into a success. If you did not have Taika Waititi's Thor, guess what? You wouldn't have had one of those badass entrances in all of superhero film history of him coming into Wakanda in Infinity War. Tell me a more badass moment than him just kicking ass. Seriously. Again, I'll wait. So the fact that that man is attached to this, after what he was able to do with Thor, good God. I cannot wait to see. But also, he understands fans. He understands fandom. Because guess what he said? He said, you know what? Star Wars... There are people who are coming to see this, who know of these characters, who know of Mandalore, who know of all these things, and have a concept of what they want. Why in the hell would I give them anything else other than what they want and what they expect? Some people might say, oh, but, maybe, going after and challenging expectations, subverting expectations can be good every now and then. And I think that there's definitely cases to be made of movies that can do it well. Rian Johnson has no idea how to do that. Taika Waititi, I think you could say he subverted expectations with Thor Ragnarok, and it was a success. And I will fight anyone on that point. It is one of my favorite MCU films, and Taika Waititi was a major part of that. But the fact that he is making it very clear here that he wants to be respectful of the original trilogy is fantastic. So he says Star Wars is very different to Marvel style. Again, I think that's a great thing to say. They know that the tone of the first films really should be kind of adhered to. That's what the fans like, and you can't really disrespect it. I guess it's a nice way of saying I can't put too many jokes in. Definitely my tone is in there, the dialogue and the stuff like that. So what he's saying is that I'm not giving away my total style. And I don't want Taika Waititi to change because I think he could make a hilarious, but also at the same time serious show. Again, keeping and adhering to and respecting the tone of the originals, as he says, as the fans kind of expect, and you kind of have to respect it and appreciate it, but at the same time, putting his own stamp on it as well. I think that just sounds awesome. The Mandalorian follows the previously unexplored adventures of bounty hunter Boba Fett. For most kids growing up with those films, Boba Fett was one of the most favorite characters, even though he's barely in the films. Just the idea of bounty hunters, the helmets are so cool. Just getting to see characters like that and getting to shoot with them is pretty cool. And I think Taika Waititi's cool for saying that he respects the fans. Seriously, Rian Johnson, take some notes, man, because this guy knows how to talk to fans. He says, no. I mean, let's just be honest here. Who loves Boba Fett? Who loves the Mandalorians? Who knows what the hell a Mandalorian is? Oh, wait, that's right. The thousands and thousands and thousands of people that grew up with the original trilogy, who grew up with the end of the Lucas era, with shows like, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought right now as we speak. It happens, guys. But shows like the Clone Wars, shows like Rebels. Obviously, Rebels was more during the time of Disney, but still, Clone Wars, again, started under and was consistent and ended, funnily enough, by Disney. But still, they introduce these characters. They make these characters in these worlds and build upon them. So the fact that this guy gets it has me so excited. Seriously, has me so excited for it. Could this show be bad? Absolutely. Could the show be a huge disappointment? Absolutely. Does this mean that I'm going to buy the Disney Plus streaming service? I don't know yet. They got to give me a price, and they got to give me what kind of content's going to be on there. Obviously, I'm in that kick where it's like, I don't really want to give them any money at this point. But anyway, like seriously, Taika Waititi, you need to reach out to your boy Rian Johnson, if you're friends at all. I would say that you're probably not, because Taika Waititi, you just seem like such a cooler dude than Rian Johnson could ever hope to be. I don't really appreciate that. Well, I don't care what you have to say, Rian Johnson. And just to make sure, because I am indeed filming this live, and I do all my reactions live, do we have a Star Wars title yet? According to the breaking news alerts, let us see here. Disney earnings fall after holiday season without a Star Wars movie. Oh boy. Well, that's not very good. Hour ago, 10 hours ago, 21 hours ago. So guys, still no official title as of yet. Now, I'm sure the title will probably drop by the time this video goes live, but if it does, guys, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that if it is indeed the balance of the Force, Hounds of Asgard, heal? What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good title? I think that it's actually a perfect title in a lot of ways, because it just helps to add to just the hodgepodge of craziness and madness that has been this trilogy that just needs to die and go away, so that new Star Wars stories can be told, hopefully without Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson being involved. But what are y'all's thoughts on that? But also, too, again, what do you think about Taika Waititi here? I think that it's awesome that he's respecting the fans, and he says very clearly that the fans should be respected. They have an expectation. They have a love of these characters. They have a love of this world and this story that George Lucas built. So why would he ever try and go against that? He's not going to take away his own style, but at the same time, too, he's not going to spit in their faces. See, that's what Rian Johnson did. Rian Johnson, instead of trying to keep to... It's not that he just didn't make a typical Star Wars film. He said, oh, that's what you expect to every point. He said, this is what you expect, this is what you expect, this is what you expect. And every time he said, nope, nope, nope. It's like the person with the piece of candy with the kid saying, oh, almost got it there. It's like the old commercial with the old man with the dollar bill. Oh, you almost got it. That's what Rian Johnson was. Oh, you think you got it? Oh, no. You think you got it? Oh, no. Oh, wait, you like this story? Oh, wait, Luke Skywalker has the lightsaber and now he doesn't. Like, that's me, Rian Johnson. Like, that's my opinion, and that's my thought of what Rian Johnson does. But anyway, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Also, too, if you've been following the channel for a while, you would know that we are having on this channel on February 24th, the first annual Wednesday Raven Awards. We are boycotting the Oscars. We're having our own award show. The ballot has been made. The ballot has been finalized. And it is live. And so I'm going to post a link to it in the description for this video. I'm going to post it in the community tab. I'm going to post it all over the place. So please, get your votes in, because the voting will only be open for 2 to 3 weeks. Guys, we got to get all those numbers in. We got to get all those winners in, so that way we can get all the awards ready, maybe some graphics ready, maybe some fake awards or something like that. Maybe some guest hosts to present certain winners too. That could be cool. But anyway, got to get all that stuff in. So please, let your voice be heard. Every single one, you get to choose just 1 of 5 options. The only exception is Best Picture. Best Picture, it is 10 movies, and you get to rank them 1 through 10. And that's how we're going to do it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see which one gets more first and second place votes and which gets the most love overall. Something tells me it's going to be Infinity War, but who knows at this point. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. You are all amazing and beautiful people. And guys, seriously, I want to love Star Wars. I do. I'm not reading through all of these EU books, listening to them nonstop, because I feel like I have to. I'm doing it because I want to, because I want to find out what happens next. I look forward to the end of my day so that I can drive in my car and listen to Mark Thompson speak sweet, wonderful words in the amazing voices that he does. All because I want to know more about this universe. So I want good stories. I want good Star Wars. But if we're going to get, Mandalorian, we have some hope for. But if all we're going to get is, oh, well, we're going to get, well, don't worry, guys, because Balance of the Force was actually my idea. I bet it would be. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, God bless.